From the hollers and hills of West Virginia, it's Heavenly Hills Homestead with another episode. Stay tuned. Boom! So, maximizing my space. Continue this thought for today. Maximizing the space we have. So I'm gonna get in here and I'm gonna till up all of this. Here's the reason why. One, I need it to start producing grass again soon. Okay. Two, if I till it, it'll work. It'll help get those seeds percolating and everything. Three, it's loaded full of nitrogen right here because that's where the chickens were. And so I'm going to till this up because I also need another space for some more corn. And I'm gonna put my corn, my peaches and cream corn, right through here. This is where peaches and cream corn will grow. Now it's not gonna be a huge plot, but it'll probably be the biggest plot I've ever had of corn. Right here. And probably do 3 or 4 rows here of corn. We'll have to measure it and see. I want my corn spaced about 30 inches apart, 30 to 36 inches apart. So we'll have to see what this ends up being, but roughly we should have about 3 to 4 rows of corn in here. And then we're gonna go over here, we're gonna clean up that patch over there. In fact, you know what, I think we're gonna start over there. Let's start over there, get that cleaned up, get the glass gem corn planted, then we'll work on getting this here all taken care of. That's what we'll do first. We'll clean up this patch with the rutabagas and the corn and all that over there. We'll plant the glass gem corn, and then we'll come over here and get this prepped, tilled, and ready for planting the peaches and cream corn. So let's get this stuff done. All right, guys, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna get in here, and I got my beans, and the beans are growing really, really good. And they're starting to run, so that's a good thing. We start kind of putting them into the trellis system there. But let's see here. Here's a good long one. I'm gonna put in a clip from 2020 and let you guys look at that whilst we get this stuff done. The next thing that we're also going to do is we're gonna put a system in right here that allows these squash and zucchini to grow up vertically. I want to grow them vertically this year instead of letting them run on the ground. See if I get any better production, any help with the disease pressure, and overall maybe better pollination rate. So we're going to see if that helps any. Like I said, we're going to be lifting them up. Well, we're going to be letting them grow vertically, and I'll have to show you the system, but we're going to use T-posts, string, and that's how we're going to use it to get them to grow up vertically. I also need to put something up here in the front to get these other beans growing, because the corn isn't growing fast enough for them, the giant corn in there. But anyhow, getting in here and gonna Man, oh man, beans are growing everywhere in this stuff. Looks like I should have been in here a couple days ago instead of waiting so long. That's my fault. So what I do with the beans is I just train them, and their beans are really easy to train to grow. Like I was saying, I got a clip from 2020 though that I want to show you all whilst I'm doing this stuff. Let you guys look at how far we've came as a little homestead from 2020, since 2020. 2020 was probably one of my best years for growing. In fact, I had a memory today on Facebook from 2020, and I'll be honest with you, my garden wasn't nowhere near this size, and the plants wasn't even doing what they're doing now. So I'm efficiently, that's why I like to do these videos, and I always have enjoyed videoing this stuff, because I can go back from one year to the next and I can see, you know, what happened on this day. What did it look like on around about this time? You know, 4th of July, what did it look like? You know, middle of July, what did it look like? First part of June, what did it look like? You know, when did I plant? This, that, and the other. There's tons of things I can do, and it's fun, it's enjoying, and it's helpful. It helps you as a grower to be able to see all the different types of stuff that happens from one year to the next, and how you progress as a grower. Well, here we are. Just trim the tomatoes back again. As you can see, all that leaf there is all tomato stuff that it didn't need, so I trimmed them all back. Blooms all over, tomatoes all over. There's my banana peppers over there, jalapeno, habaneros, habanero. These are Thai dragons. That's the reapers, the ghosts, and the habaneros. Cucumbers down there, right there where the cups are, or the bottles. Those are green peppers, bell peppers. These are all bush cucumbers, pickling cucumber, watermelon and cantaloupe running rampant. The lettuce I got to pick at here in just a second. I'm going to pick it. There's the corn. All them other itty bitty tomato plants that I told you would be as big as them other ones in a couple weeks. Well, look at them now. Full blooms. There's some more tomato plants. Getting overrun by my squash. I got to trim them back again. And squash are just everywhere inside there. I mean, just everywhere. But I tell you, I told you they were loaded. They're just everywhere inside of here. Little itty bitty babies. I mean, it's just some of them's fuller than others, but they're pretty full. I got to trim them back again. They're just bushing out like crazy. It's more of them itty bitty tomato plants, growing big, full blooms. Somehow, a squash plant that I thought was a cucumber plant got me. Bunch more cucumbers. I'm gonna put one of these panels like this in between them up here on the up, and I'm gonna drape some strings along through there, but I'm gonna try to lift them up and get them to ride over like this instead of laying on the ground. Get them up off the ground. Green beans. That corn is way up. Corn's up to my neck. See, it's way up there. But anyhow, bunches and bunches of tomato plants. Bunches. And bottles are how I water it for fertilizer. If you're interested in how to do that, I'll tell you. But you can give some pretty potent fertilizer
that way without killing your plant. You just put the bottle in the ground and put a layer of dirt down in it, and pour your fertilizer in it, and then every time you water your plant through that, you fertilize it. So
Alright, so we got this big Laverne rutabaga we pulled up, and we'll feed all this stuff at the top here to all of our other animals. Let them get some good meals today. Not that they don't get good meals every day, but they don't get this kind of meal every day. I'll tell you that now. We'll eat these either today or tomorrow. Them things are looking great. Look how big them are. So got our Glass Gem corn here. I wanted to grow this, but I didn't want to grow it this year. Since we're having such bad time with this baby orchard corn here, the Buell corn seems like it may end up being an okay corn. That's the one that's tallest back there. But since our baby orchard really doesn't look like it's going to amount to much of anything, if anything at all, I said we're going to go on ahead and try these. Now, in saying that, we need to talk about Glass Gem corn a little bit. So, it's translucent, and it's really pretty corn. You see it there, how pretty that is. I hope. Let me see. Get a little closer here. Might even be able to let you see there a little closer. There we go. Beautiful corn, really nice. And from everything I've heard, it grows well. And It does good. This should do relatively well for a second planting. Right here on the back of the package, 1/2 inch, full sun, 5 to 7 days in sprout, 110 to 120 days to harvest. Now that is where it's going to get us little, don't know. We're going to have to check and see how many days are left before general frost happens. Usually about between October 15th and October 31st, we get our first frost, generally. Some years we don't get our first frost till the first week of November to the middle of November. So depending on what we're going to have this year, might have a little issue there, but we're going to count the days. It just says, to plant it after the frost is passed. Plant it in blocks, of course. This one requires adequate nitrogen as well as phosphorus. I think all corn likes a little bit of phosphorus, but this one, I guess, more so. Pry the kernels off the maize sheller or dry cob, typically used for ornamental or ground flour. The smaller kernels can also be popped. So what I'm hoping to do with this is get a general harvest to carry over to next year and plant a bigger crop of this. And what I want to grow it for is ornamental and popcorn. All right. I wouldn't mind trying it as a flour corn, because we use a lot of cornmeal here. So that would be something neat to try, I think. But we have painted mountain corn over there growing, and some other giant corns that we can use. We can get seeds off of, but then we'll use the other parts of them that we don't use for seed. We'll use those for making cornmeal or something like that out of. Just trying different things, right? So anyhow, the variety of corn that we have growing this year is the most corn I've ever grown in one season. Not only is it the most corn I've ever grown in one season, but it's also the most varieties of corn I've ever grown, period. Generally speaking, I've always grown a peaches and cream corn. Always. Grew it down in Deepwater. I grew it my first times I've tried it over at Cafago when we lived over there. It was also peaches and cream corn. So I've always grown peaches and cream corn. I don't believe, to my recollection, I've ever tried any other thing besides peaches and cream corn. So this year, I wanted to switch that up because our peaches and cream corn that I saved from last year is not going to grow the same. In fact, we have one stalk up there of it growing up by the giant carrots and stuff. That's what that corn is. And I just let it grow to see what it ends up doing, because I'm interested in knowing the cross. Because did you know I cannot find what two crosses makes that hybrid corn? It must be a real good kept secret. I even asked Travis over at Lazy Dog Farm, and he's a pretty good expert on corn and stuff, and knows his stuff about corn. And he said that he thinks that's something that they keep close to their chest on that specific variety. But yet I see people out here selling peaches and cream seed, like not major companies, but small producers of it. So somebody knows the secret. So anyhow, that's why I'm growing that one up there, just to kind of see what it is. But as far as this goes, I got baby orchard corn. We already talked about that. It's done tasseled. It's trying to grow. Don't know that it will. We have the Buell corn. It's looking really good. Very tall compared to what I was expecting, because I was expecting shorter stalks from what I was told, 5 foot or so, and it's 6+ foot on some of them. And then we have our 3 varieties of giant corn growing. The Tahua, I can't remember the other 2 names. One of them starts with an O. Then we have our painted mountain corn. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6. This makes 7. The peaches and cream will make 8 varieties of corn growing here on the homestead this year. Now you say, well, Ryan, ain't none of them going to be true to variety. Well, they should be, because every one of them are planted at different times. Every one of them have a different number of days to maturity. So while this one's 110 to 120, Peaches and Cream should be a little bit offset from that. And I'll have to look again to make sure, but I think it's a little bit sooner than that. I think like maybe 90 days or something, like 100, something like that. The other big corns, they're all, you know, a longer time period, but they weren't planted when this was. So none of it should hit at the same time when it's tasseling. That's why I grew this corn and that corn and planted them on the same day. Baby orchard corn was planted on the same day the Buell corn was, and the Buell corn hasn't even tasseled yet. It's going to here soon, but it hadn't yet. So that's why you can plant. If your days are different, you can grow multiple varieties of corn in one area close to your, close proximity to each other. You can also stagger those days, maybe weeks in between, and that'll give you your days, to maturity. Just always try to plant your youngest ones first, and then plant your ones that mature a little later, plant them, like a week or so later. So we got it planted. There was supposed to be 50 seeds, but I had 46. 2 of them was crushed at 44. Anyhow, got them planted. We'll see. It didn't make, it made 3 whole rows and 1 half a row. So there's 3.5 rows there. We'll see what it does. Hopefully it does better than the crap I planted earlier this year with that baby orchard garbage. I was going to start working out here on this and get this one tilled up and everything and done. But I think first what I need to do, it's a really hot day, so I need to go and get all that right there cleaned up and put away. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take and get this all cleaned up and put inside the house to use. So I'm going to go lay it out here in the yard, get the water hose, spray it all off, take off all the leaves, and all that, and I'll take you with me while we do it. Then we'll see what we're going to do after that. Might come out here and till, or I might just say, you know what, I think the rest of the day I'm just going to kind of chill out. So we'll see how I feel. So here is our summer harvest. I'm getting ready to replant every bit of this to grow for our fall crop. But you can see some of these guys are quite big. Look at that. Okay, so we're gonna clean up, get all the leaves off of them, feed the leaves to our animals. Look at them big rutabagas back there. Navone, I think is what they're called. N-A-V-O-N-E, Navone. Rutabagas. Big rascals. Hopefully we're going to have them for dinner tonight. So make some mashed potatoes out of them. But you can see these guys, there's quite a few big ones in here on them kohlrabies. I mean, they're big. Them purple ones actually got pretty good size in there. So I'm pretty pleased with those. Didn't look like they were going to do good, and then they ended up doing pretty well. I think probably need a lot of moisture to get them growing good. That's what I'm starting to see. They need a lot of water. So, don't be scared to water your kohlrabi and keep them well watered. I only had one that rotted out of all of them. Don't know what happened to it. It rotted, so it could have been a bug or anything. The rest of them are pretty sound, it looks like. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go in here, I'm going to clean them all up, and I'm going to weigh some of them individually. Not all of them, but some of them individually. And then I'm going to show you what they weigh, just because it's pretty neat, I think, to see what some of this stuff weighs. So anyhow, after that, I'm going to give you guys a chance to win some seeds of your choice. You can pick this year's, or you can pick last year's, whichever ones you want. You have to hold out till we get these from this year's harvest, but you can pick some seeds from last year's harvest, on the giant pumpkins. Or you can wait till this year and pick this year's harvest from giant pumpkins. Anyhow, the winners are going to be able to get some free seeds. Now, here's how you're going to win. You're going to go and you're going to guess the total weight on the green kohlrabi, and you're going to say green kohlrabi, 1 pound. All right, it's whatever. Purple kohlrabi, you know, however many pounds you think on that. And the Navone rutabaga, however many pounds you think on those. There's 5 of those. You're going to guess the totals of the. Here's what we'll do. You guess the amount of the total on each one, the green, the purple, and the rutabaga. All right. And then we'll give you a 4th opportunity to win. Whoever can guess the closest combined weight of all 3 of them. All right. So the purple kohlrabi, the green kohlrabi, and the Navone rutabaga. So you can guess individually. Guess how many, how much pound there is on the green, and then how much there is on the purple, and how much there is on the rutabaga. And then you can guess a 4th one on the total weight that you believe is going to be for these things. Now, there'll be 4 winners, hopefully, that we'll award some seeds to. Here's the thing. You need to be within, let's say, a 1/4 pound, right? We can do that, yeah. So, if you think it's going to be 2.5 pounds, it ends up being 2 pounds and 3/4, or 2 3/4 pound, then the person that guessed 2.5, they'll win. All right, so let's get it to that. Half a pound. Half a pound's a lot of weight, guys. You might not think it is, but it is. It's quite a bit of weight. So I mean, 1/4 makes it a little bit, narrowing it down a little bit better for everybody, so everybody gets a good chance. In the case that there would be a tie, I'll resolve that somehow, some way. I'll come up with some cool way to break the tie. But anyhow, that's what we're going to do. You're going to guess the total weights of the purples, total weight of the green, and total weight of the rutabagas, and then the combined weight of all of them. All right, and so if somebody guesses the purple one, it's 2 pounds, and they guess 2 1/4, they'll win. If somebody guesses 1.5 pounds on the kohlrabi and it ends up being 1 3/4, that person will win. And then on the rutabaga, if somebody guesses 3 pounds and it's 3 1/4 pound, then that person will win. And then if somebody guesses total weight is 6 pounds, right, and it ends up being 6 1/4, well, then that person will win. All right, so hopefully I explained that well enough to you. All you gotta do, again, each one of these, write down the guess weight that you think they're going to be combined on their individual species, all right, variety, all right, the green, the purple, and the rutabaga, and then the combined total of all 3. All right, you don't have to win all 3, okay? You can win them individually. So just so anybody that's thinking, oh goodness, you got to guess all of it to win. No, there's going to be 4 winners. All right, hopefully 4 winners. All right, so that's how you win. All right, guys, get off of here, get inside, clean these all up, get the leaves off of them and roots cut off of them, and then get them cleaned one more time and dried off and weighed. All right, here's one rutabaga, almost 2 pounds right there. Another rutabaga, it's pretty heavy. Over about 2.5 pounds.
This is the most weirdest game I've ever collected.
That's a good one. 3 pounds, 8.8 ounces. That's a big one. And this one. You know what's funny? There we go. There's only one rutabaga left, and you guys get to guess what's the total. And I gave you 4, so I made it easy for you. Okay, here's the purple. 2 pound. 1 pound, 15.9 ounces. Another purple one here. 1.75. Get a couple more. Medium sized one. A little over a pound. And one of the smaller ones. 5 ounces, 5.1 ounces. So there's those on the purples. I'll give you totals here in a minute, but you can probably count them on the other part of the video where you can see them all laid out there, but I'll give you totals. There's another one, 1 pound, 12.9 ounces. So let's get some purple ones. Guys, as promised, here is our biggest kohlrabi. Cleaned off. .63 pounds. I think that's the biggest, either the biggest or close to the biggest green one we have. So there's that one. We'll get some more in here and fed all the tops to the pigs and to the goats. Violet's loving it. Ain't you, Violet? Violet! Somehow she squeezed her little butt in there. Now she can't squeeze her little butt out. That's pretty funny, considering she takes off and she runs up and like literally tucks her front legs and shoots herself through the holes down there, and that's how she got in there. I've seen her get in there before like that, but now she can't get out. So I guess she's permanently home now because she can't get out unless you go in there and pick her up and put her out. But these guys are looking good. They're loving the kohlrabi tops and the rutabaga tops. So is she, and the goats are enjoying them as well. So it's nice to have them all just eating and happy and being able to feed them off of what I've grown, what we've produced here. You know, that just makes you happy. It just makes you, you know, because you don't want to waste this stuff, right? But it can go and feed your animals, which in turn ends up helping you out in the long run too. So it's great stuff. Great stuff. Get you a drink there, old girl. What? 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 What you doing, girl? Huh? Anyhow. Boy, she's starting to get wide. Oh, she's starting to get wide. I don't remember how many days old she is now, but she's looking good, ladies and gents. She's looking good. So happy with it. Need to get those leaves off of her pretty soon here. Probably do that this evening if I can get out here and do a little bit. I watered all day here, and I hope that don't come back to bite me in the rear, because I guess it's going to rain now. Wasn't but like a 20 or 30% chance. Now it's moved up to a 40% chance. And sirens. Hope everything's all right. Anyhow, it's been a really sad week. There was a little girl, a 4-year-old girl, whose parents stabbed her to death and slit her throat right here in this community. Sad. Not right here, I guess I shouldn't say right here in this community as if it was right here, but just about 15 minutes or so away, 20 minutes away is where it happened. And it's sad. It's sad. That was heartbreaking, gut-wrenching to think that somebody could do that to their 4-year-old kid. I don't, the world is so twisted and sad and just corrupt and wrong. And, you know, if there's anything that I can give to you all, it's hopefully a reprieve from the devastation and the annihilation of our country as a whole, and maybe bring you some solace and let you know that there's still good people in this world, and there's still people who care about other people, and who love people, and who love to have a family and their children and all of that. If there's anything that I can give you, I hope it's that. I hope that when you guys come here and you watch my channel, that you're given hope and you're given a brief glimpse into what used to be normal in this society. And maybe, just maybe, that little bit of hope and that little bit of normalcy will bring you comfort and joy in maybe some of your hardest times. You know, today for me and Annie, it's a very sad day. Today is our oldest son's birthday, Logan Chase. And he was born in 2009, July 17th, as stillborn, at 38 weeks utero. It was a sad day, still a sad day, every day that passes. You know, he would have been 13 today. And it's sad. It's sad. And we don't know why, but I can tell you this. I've learned a lot from him, even though he's not been here. I've learned to enjoy my children. I've learned that time is short. I've learned that things aren't as bad as they could be. And I've learned that you need to love everybody that's close to you, and even the ones that ain't close to you. That's a different kind of love. But guys, I've learned a lot in the passing and of our son those many years ago. I've learned that the old saying, time heals all, and you know, all that is a lie. It doesn't heal the wound, it just gets easier to carry. Okay? So many things that I've learned from him, and him never having took a breath here. But I have hope. The same hope that David had when his son passed. You know, David said that he would go to him, to his son. Yeah, meaning heaven. He knew where his son went. And so he strived all the more to get to him, because he knew that if he wanted to see him, heaven is where he had to go. So, if there's one thing I've learned, there's somebody you want to see ever again that you loved and you cared about, and you know that they went to heaven, you gotta strive to hit that mark. You gotta strive to hit that. So, I've learned that in order to see him again, I have to go to heaven. And you know, if there's somebody that you long for, you know, and they made heaven their home, and you want to see him again, make heaven your home. Because David longed to be with his son. And while I enjoy my kids and I love my kids here, and I don't want to leave my children because they need me and I love them, it's going to be a big reunion one day when I get to see my little boy, speak to him, see him for the first time, alive and well. So, with that being said, guys, we appreciate you watching. All right, and we'll see you tomorrow right here in the hollers and hills of West Virginia.
Don't forget to smash that like button, that notification bell. Don't get the
Good job. Here you go. Thank you.
Don't get the
Don't forget to share. Yep. There you go. Good job. And
And
subscribe.